So I've decided to make a guide on low level Slayer, simply because there's a lot of people coming into the game recently, and I know that low level Slayer can be really annoying to just get past those first 50 or so levels. So on screen now are some of the monsters that you're going to face in those low levels. I'm not going to give a guide for all the monsters because some of them are very self-explanatory, like cows and goblins and stuff outside Lumbridge. For most of the monsters though, I will be giving a short guide on how to safe spot them or where to find them and how I think is best to kill them. This guide is mainly aimed at people who are below 50 Slayer, so if you're above 50 Slayer then this guide's probably not going to help you, but you can watch it if you want. If not, just click off. It's mainly aimed at for those who are below 50 Slayer, like I said, and who are struggling or just don't really know how to tackle Slayer, or if you're even new to the game, you're coming through mobile or whatever, and you just want a bit of a hand getting through those first 50 levels. So first I'm going to talk through the Slayer Masters. I'm going to talk through 3 Slayer Masters as Churiel, Mazchina and Vanaka. The first one is in Burthorpe, you can see there on screen. He requires no combat level, so you can go to him as soon as you log in if you want. You can start doing Slayer. The next one is in Canfis. That requires a quest to complete Priest in Peril, and you need 20 combat to access him. And the one after that on screen you'll see is Vanaka, which is in Varrock Sewers, or Edgeville Sewers, and he requires combat level 40. On my Pure I've been doing a bit of Slayer, and I've decided to use the middle one, the Mazchina. And he's been given pretty decent tasks, quite low level tasks, monsters that he gives. They're quite short as well, but they've been given decent XP and safe spottable, most of them. And because it's a pure, I don't want to get hit too much, so I'd highly recommend it if you're not confident with Slayer just yet and you just want to start off, and if you've got 20 combat obviously, and done Priest in Peril quest. Speaking of which, Priest in Peril quest is a pretty good quest to do. For Slayer it's a very, very good quest to do. It's not actually necessary to do Slayer to complete Slayer and get XP for Slayer, but it'll help you a lot if you do complete it, so I would recommend completing it as quick as you can. It's not a hard quest, you only need some pure essence and a bucket like it says on screen there, and you get some decent rewards from it. But it'll give you access to the Slayer Tower, which has a lot of low level Slayer monsters in, and it's quite close to a bank, so you can just quickly like power train those low levels, and you can go back to that Mazchina guy who's in Canfis as well. So hence why I say it's better to get it done as soon as possible, because it'll just really boost those low levels like we're trying to do. So next up is getting your supply sorted for Slayer. When you're level 1 Slayer, you can only buy the enchanted gem, and you can only use a black mask if you've got enough money for a black mask. I think they're at 300k ish last time I checked, but I don't know, I've not checked in ages, that could be horribly wrong. But on screen you'll see me buying all the useful items for Slayer. A lot of them are used for killing the monsters, like hitting the final blow, or some of them you just have to wear to be able to kill the monster in the first place, like the nose peg, face mask, earmuffs and stuff like that. But you won't be able to buy them or equip them until you have the Slayer level required to use them, so don't worry, just try and buy everything, and if you can, brilliant. If you can't, then you don't have it, it'll tell you when you can access them, or when you can use them. So in this video we're talking through 2 main Slayer areas, the Slayer Tower, which is on screen now, and the Slayer Caves, which will be the next one that we cover. But in the Slayer Tower you've got monsters on screen there. You can pause it if you want and have a look which monsters are where and what level they are. I'll try to put level inside the monster regarding to the Slayer level to kill them, not the actual monster level. So you've got Crawling Hand, the Banshee, that Mage, and the Bloodvelds at level 50. So in this next few clips you'll see me going around and killing all the monsters that are in the Slayer Tower up to level 50 Slayer. I will not go any higher than 50 Slayer, so I'll kill the Bloodvelds and then I'll stop. So if you're looking for a guide on how to kill gargoyles or aberrant spectres or whatever, then I'm not going to show that on here. This is, like I said before, this guide is just for people who are starting off Slayer, or who are having trouble with those low levels. So in this first room you've got Crawling Hands. You can safe spot them over the table if you want, but there's really no need to, unless you are like level 3 Slayer or something, or level 3 combat, sorry, or something ridiculous. Or you're a pure, I suppose, but even then they're not going to hit that hard. I think like level 6 and level 12, so as you can see, you can safe spot them either side of this table. When you carry on into the next room you'll get the Banshees. Now this is where you need to equip your earmuffs, because if you don't then they'll hit you for quite a lot of damage. They'll take down all your stats. So as you can see now, I'm equipping the earmuffs. I'm going to go into the Banshees. Banshees again, they're only level 23, so you don't really need, there's no way to safe spot them as such, but you don't really need to, because they're not going to hit as long as you're wearing some like range armor, then you should be fine, or any armor really. You should be fine with them. And then upstairs is the Infernal Mages. So these I would recommend wearing some range armor, because they're obviously magic based attacks. So if you've got range armor like Dragon Hide or something like that, you should be fine. They won't hit you too much. They're in level 66, so just use I would use a melee weapon or a range weapon, and like I said, wear some range armor if you can. If not, I'd just go with normal armor, whatever armor you've got, and take some decent food, and you'll be absolutely fine. So in the final room that we'll be covering today in the Slayer Tower is the Bloodvelds. These require level 50 Slayer to attack, and they have also got a magic based attack. Even though it looks like they're just trying to hit you or bite you with their mouths, their attack is magic based. So I would highly recommend bringing some range armor again, just like for the Infernal Mages, and quite a bit of food. Bloodvelds are weak to stab, so if you've got a stab weapon, I would bring that. If not, like you can see, I'm hitting them relatively well with the whip, but definitely bring a stab weapon, or you can use broad bolts or broad weapon on these, and that'll work quite well too. But definitely bring some food and range armor, because they will hit quite hard if you're a low defense level, or if you're just a low combat level in general. That is it for the Slayer Tower. So the next one we'll be covering is the Slayer Caves in Rellekla. On screen you'll be able to see 3 different ways to get there. You can either use a fairing code, AJR, or teleport to house if you have your house in Rellekla, which it requires 40 magic. Inside the Slayer Caves there are cave crawlers, which don't require anything to kill, rock slugs, which require the rock salt to kill, cockatrice, pyrofiends, and basilisks, which require the mirror shield to kill. Again, I'll go through each of these monsters in the Slayer Caves and show you if you can safe spot them, or where I think is best to kill them, and how is best to kill them. For these rock slugs then, all you need to do is get them down to as low HP as possible, and then right click, use the bag of salt on them, and then they will die. If you don't use the bag of salt on them, they will just keep staying there. They won't die. You'll just keep hitting them over and over again. So don't AFK these, or try not to if you can, because like I said, they just won't die. You can stand where I am standing now and use a bow and kill them from one side of the room to the other, and they'll just kind of like glitch and go in the corner, but like they're not really that. They're level 29. They're not going to hit you that well, so I would just stand and hit them. Similar to the basilisk, you'll need a mirror shield to kill the cockatrice, otherwise it'll start lowering your stats and hit you quite hard. So make sure you get yourself a mirror shield before you start tackling these cockatrice. For pyrofiends, I'd just bring some range armor again. They've got magic based attack, so just bring some range armor, some food, and you'll be absolutely fine. And finally we've got the basilisk, which you will need the mirror shield for. Towards the end of this clip I take it off and I'll show you how quickly they drain your stats. I'm max combat, so 126, and they drain my 99s like it's nothing and start absolutely wrecking me. So you definitely need a mirror shield no matter what combat level you are trying to kill basilisk. In this last clip, I'm going to show you where the new Calphite layer is. It is in the desert near Alcarid, and you'll need a shanty pass to get out, and then it's literally around the corner. You go into a tunnel, and as you can see on screen, there are lots of different entrances with different level Calphites in there. There are two which I would recommend using with the lowest level Calphites in there. If you're lucky enough to have enough money for a cannon and you've done the quest to get a cannon, then by all means use the cannon in there. It's multi-combat, so the task will go ridiculously quickly. If not, just stand in the middle, they will all attack you. And make sure you bring an anti-poison because they can poison you. And there you have it. So hopefully this guide's helped you out a little bit. If it has, please leave a like or a comment. Maybe give me a comment on what I could improve as to next time. Like I said, this guide is mainly aimed at people below 50, so if you are above 50, it's probably not for you. But hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.